It is everything everywhere, the one creative energy, the infinite source of all life, of all existence, of everything we ever knew or will know. It's all that one divine energy. So I know I am an extension of that, an expression of that. So too is everyone on this call, everyone watching, everyone connecting with us, however they are. Everyone everywhere is a unique and individualized expression of that infinite one. So I know we come together now as one to share, to grow. The words, the music, the ideas uplift and inspire and bring about a greater expression of that one. I'm grateful for this time, grateful for New Thought Philadelphia, grateful for everyone here and the technology that brings us all together to celebrate in spirit. With love and gratitude, I claim good for this celebration and everyone here and watching. This good is at hand, and so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you, Breen. And the reason that we do practical prayer is not because we owe something to God or because if we don't, there's something bad is going to happen to us. We do a practical prayer to create a change in the experience that we're having in our lives. So we'd like to share prayer work stories, talk about the prayers that we've said, the intentions that we've set, and the stories that have come about. And sometimes they are remarkably quick. I'm going to start with one because last Sunday, basically the talk was about how to do prayer and create a new experience. And we did a demonstration, a role-playing thing with Patrick, who was looking for an apartment, a new place to live in Portugal. And he'd looked at 30 different places. He put in offers on 3 of them, and none of them had worked, and there were all sorts of issues and complications. And Patrick was talking about the difficulties. By the way, he'll be back here next week to share the details of the story with us. But I just wanted to let you know that the apartment that he had an offer in on when we were going through this prayer, the offer was accepted at a lower price than the bottom of the range of the asking price. So as of Monday, there was a prayer work story coming about, and now he just needs to figure out how to deal with the culture and the financing and the language barriers. But prayer works. Yeah. Anybody else have a story that you'd like to share? Something big, something little? Carol.
Thank you. My daughter's romantic partner and the father of her baby has a ongoing custody dispute with his ex-wife. And there was a hearing on August 6th. And this is just something that's been going on for a long time. So I did, I'm gonna say like a practical prayer and actually practical work on it because I helped edit the paper that he was going to submit to the court for the hearing. And of course, his lawyer also worked on it and he worked on it. I mean, yeah, it's a group effort. And the result of I held him in prayer during the hearing because I knew they're in California, but I knew what time it was. So I held him in prayer during the hearing. And honestly, he had so many asks in his what he submitted that he wanted, and he got everything except one. And that one could happen in the future. It's like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Except for some reason now it's just a little bit believable. What a great story. Sure. Anybody else something to share? Breen.
So this past week at work, I had a bit of a challenge with an issue. I work in technology in project management, and I was asked to lead a Tiger team. And a Tiger team is supposed to be very focused. You come in, fix one issue, and then break up the team. My director was out on vacation when this was all being put together, and he's very, very focused and specific. And I knew that he would not be happy with the way things were going because the Tiger team was not focused and specific. When he got back, he pinged me and goes, we need to have a one-on-one. I'm like, okay. And I said some prayer about it because I knew he wasn't happy, but he was happy with me. He was very happy with me and the way I was handling it, but he just wasn't happy with how everything else was going. And I thought he was going to come down on me a little bit more than he did, but he didn't. So it's all good.
Love when that happens. Dave, you have one?
I do. I have one of those immediate ones. So most of you don't know that we do a lot of preview before we get to here on Sunday morning. And just this morning, everything from my internet going down to scrambling around trying to figure out how I was going to get a microphone that worked was going on in the background. And as I went to restart my my router and all that kind of other stuff that you do, I said a little prayer, said, this is going to work out absolutely perfectly, effortlessly, and easily. Voila.
We're glad you're here. We have some announcements from Sandy.
Okay, I'm unmuted. This virtual information can be found on our website at newthoughtphilly.org. New Member Sundays coming up on August 30th with orientation sessions following the celebration on the 16th and 23rd. Become a member to join your intention with the New Thought Philadelphia community. Contact Reverend Bill for more info. Join us for daily meditation, prayer, and support calls. They're less than 15 minutes, include a check-in and a meditation on health, harmony, peace, and prosperity. They're Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m., Saturday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 6. Everybody's welcome. And it's the same Zoom link as this one. Please join our Philly Spiritual Adventurers group on meetup.com. We have a community visioning, which is tomorrow night, taking action beyond white supremacy. It's on Zoom, and our community's been gathering for life visioning on how we individually and together are letting spirit guide us to the next steps in moving past the experience of white supremacy our country has been stuck in. All are welcome. Fear to Faith workshop is a deceptively simple yet powerful process to activate a transformation in a challenging area of your life. It's Tuesday, August 18th, which is a week from Tuesday, from 7 to 9 p.m. on Zoom. The workshop fee is $20 or a love offering. Meditation 101 with Joe Mitchell on Friday, August 21st from 7:30 to 8:30 on Zoom. He'll share some of his favorite techniques from a meditation practice that's been going for more than 30 years. They'll include breath work, chanting, activate and listen, and how to quiet your mind in 3 minutes. Joe makes meditation practical and easy. There's no fee, but a love offering will be accepted, and all are welcome. Beyond Limits class is 10 power pack sessions to introduce the principles and practices of New Thought that will transform your life. It begins Monday, September 14th from 7 to 9:30 on Zoom. We're looking at the possibility of it being in person if it's safe. And the tuition is $215. The Women's Circle meets the fourth Thursday of every month. It's Thursday, August 27th by Zoom. Check with me or Joe because it's a different link than this one. We gratefully accept donations and payments via credit card or PayPal. Use the donate button on the website or mail a check to the office in Ardmore. And thank you to the production team who made our Zoom celebration work. There's a short technical rehearsal on Saturday afternoons and a final check-in before the celebration on Sunday. If you'd like to take part, contact Reverend Bill or Sarah. The reverends and practitioners are available for healing prayer. Contact them through the website. And after the celebration, the healing prayer team offers miracle in a minute sessions at no charge. The practitioner of the day is Breen, and he'll be available for a Zoom breakout after the celebration. We'll leave the Zoom meeting open for people to talk among themselves. And also, if you're not, if you don't receive the e-newsletter, please sign up for it on the website. That's it.
Thank you, Sandy. Yeah. And so when we're in person, what we love to do is greet each other and bless each other. And we have a special blessing for our second-time visitors and our first-time visitors. And since we're all a little bit remote and by golly, this is the first time any of us have been here in August of 2020 with that. So let's all bless and greet each other. So go ahead and rub your hands together to generate some warmth. Feel that love build up and send it out to everybody in the group. Join me in knowing that you are the bright light of God's love. I'm so grateful for the way that you are shining your light and sharing your love. And welcome home. And as Avi does the next song, that's normally the greeting song where we go around the room and hug each other. That is contraindicated at this point, especially because of the distance. We are very social. Distant at this point, but just take a look around at the other people who we're in community with and feel that connection, because in spite of the distance, we're all together. Avi.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Dawn all the dark clouds that had me gone. It's gonna be a bright, bright and sunshiny day. Yes, I can make it now, the pain is gone. And all of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright and sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright and sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright and sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright and sunshiny day. Yeah, it's gonna be a bright and sunshiny day.
Thank you, Avi. And now we have our ritual we like to do every week, the Flames of Faith. And Jennifer is going to read the Flames of Faith, and Reverend Dave will be lighting.
We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine.
And you can just keep going because I'm sure Dave is lighting the flames even though his web connection is not displaying that for us.
Okay. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and the practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we imagine Reverend Dave lighting the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be. Our reading today is going to be brought to us by Carla Ann, and it's the mystery reading because it was whittled down to one of two possibilities, so we get to find out now which one it is.
Hi, everybody. We're reading from Spiritual Economics today by Eric Butterworth. The God who made the world and everything in it, being Lord of heaven and earth, does not live in shrines made by man, nor is he served by human hands, as though he needed anything, since he himself gives to all men life and breath and everything. Yet he is not far from each one of us, for in him we live and move and have our being. That's from Acts of the Apostles, chapter 17-25. When you think of God, you may follow the subconscious tendency to think up a giant Michelangelo-like figure of a superhuman with bulging muscles and a long white beard, sitting alone in on his billowy cloud throne with all the wealth of the universe in his hands. You may insist that you do not hold such an image. Perhaps not, but when you pray for God's help in some financial problem, do you ask God for supply from God's all-sufficiency? H. Emily Cady, the New Thought pioneer and author of the influential Lessons in Truth, poses a challenging insight that every sincere seeker after truth should reflect upon. God is not a being with qualities or attributes, but he is the good itself coming into expression as life, love, power, wisdom. What this says is that God is not loving. God is the allness of love. God is not wise. God is allness of wisdom. God is not a dispenser of divine substance. God is the allness of ever-present substance in which we live, move, and have being. And this is the subtle but vitally important key on which the entire structure of spiritual economics rests. The word substance comes from the Latin substare, which means stand under. There is a substance standing under everything. We are not referring just to the component parts that make up the thing, but to the non-material essence at the root of it. Today, we know much about the molecules and atoms and subatomic particles, but what is not commonly known is that the focus of research is now being centered not on the minute particles of the material, but on what is called the reality of non-material. The space between them is now considered more important than the particles themselves. In this space is to be found a field of force that holds the particles in their orbits. It is even being conjectured that the particle is not just acted upon by the force, but is the force acting as a particle. Certainly, this has application in our relation to God. We are not just acted upon by God, but we are actively of God, expressing as us. We talk of faith that God will provide, but what do we mean? We will be dealing with faith in a latter chapter, but for now, let us be clear on one thing. Faith doesn't influence God out there to send riches to fill our needs down here. Faith is the spiritual capacity by which we may form and shape this ever-present basic element of spirit substance. Mike Todd once put this awareness in the simplest way when he said, "Many times I have been broke, but I have never been poor." Any person who understands this will have in his or her possession the key by which he or she will always be able to demonstrate prosperity and security no matter what the conditions in the world.
Words are flying out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither wildly as they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Jai Guru Deva Om. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes. They call me on and on across the universe. Thoughts meander like a restless wind inside a letterbox. They tumble blindly as they make their way across the universe. Jai Guru Deva Om. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Sounds of laughter, shades of joy are ringing through my open ears, inciting and inviting me. Limitless, undying love which shines around me like a million suns. It calls me on and on across the universe. Jai Guru Deva. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva.
Thank you, Avi. That's absolutely delightful. And you're going to have to forgive me for just 1 second as I turn off a recording that is echoing in my ear. So how awesome is it to be alive today? I was thinking about that. I got up this morning and thought, how awesome is it to be alive today? When we stop for a moment and recognize the beauty and the possibility that every day brings, and just the opportunity to be aware that we are alive, that we are active participants in life today. What a wonderful thing. So today's talk is about big picture stuff. And I love that idea of big picture stuff for a couple of different reasons. I'm going to go into the Science of Mind version of what that is first. There's a line in the textbook, The Science of Mind, where what Carla was talking about in the reading, Ernest Holmes describes it with a really highly technical term, stuff, that unformed substance from which everything is made. The stuff that is back of the condition, the stuff from which everything is formed. And I was thinking about that because that stuff, we could review, it could be the primordial ooze from which everything on this planet emerged. And that was the same stuff as if it were created overnight. Doesn't matter, it's the same stuff. So what I really like to think about when I start talking about big picture stuff is that, we all have stuff in our own lives that we feel is the big picture. What's going on with my life today? What are the challenges or opportunities facing me today? Those are the big choices we have to make in our daily lives. And then there's the bigger picture stuff. What's going on in our country? You can put a question mark behind that one, maybe several with an exclamation point. What's going on in our society as we evolve into a higher level of expression of good? What's going on in our world as we recognize that we are evolving with the requirement for change to happen for us to continue evolving? All of those challenges and opportunities are available to us every morning. That's why it's so awesome to be alive right now. And this is true of everyone in every time. It is awesome to be alive right now, to have the opportunity to evolve into a greater understanding of love, of harmony, of goodness in life, of equality, of all of the things we desire to see emerge into our world as an expression of the highest and best and most noble that human beings can be. For we are powerful beyond belief, and often we are scared by that power. Because with, to quote Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. Actually, Spider-Man's uncle, but whatever. And most of us would like to be powerful and to be recognized as powerful beings in our lives and in our activities in the world and by those that we respect. And quite a few of us want to be powerful without being responsible. And we can all make our own internal judgments on who we'd like to point a finger at that. But I'm not pointing a finger at anybody because, in fact, we are all individualized expressions of the same divine stuff brought into a unique form. The difference is that we are conscious. Unlike the primordial ooze, we are aware that we are aware. We are aware that there is a big picture that is an expression of a set of ideas that we have accepted as the basis for how we live in this world. But there's an even bigger intelligence working. Now, I'm going to do my favorite thing. If you haven't heard about it, and we're going to actually see it today, the Hubble Ultra Deep Field Shot is my go-to favorite image for awe-inspiring thought. And that's because what they did was they took the Hubble Space Telescope, which is a really powerful space telescope, made even more powerful after they fixed it after round one. And they pointed at a dot of space that the astronomers thought was empty. And they pointed it there for 14 days or 14 orbits of the satellite over 11 days. And this little speck, the size of this speck that they thought was empty was about the size of a grain of sand, the relationship. It's about the size of a grain of sand held at arm's length. That's the relationship to this speck of darkness, okay? So we're gonna hope that my screen share is okay. This is what they found in that speck of darkness. No, not that one. Hang on, bear with me. Go back to basic. That one. Okay, you guys seeing that? Big starry field? Somebody nod or wave and say yes. Thank you. I'm working on the technology and not realizing that when I'm talking like this, it's a one-way thing. So I need some validation. I need to feel powerful in my life. So this is the Hubble Ultra Deep Field Shot. And it looks like a nice starry sky until you realize that each one of those points of light is a galaxy. Okay? A galaxy. Now in the Milky Way, we have hundreds and hundreds of billions of stars in the Milky Way, and these are galaxies. And this was in that speck of dark space that was the size of a grain of sand held at arm's length. Now imagine that in a continuous 360-degree sphere, at which we are at the center of that. This has approximately 10,000 galaxies in it, and it's out there right now. And that's only one little space. So you multiply that by that sphere of understanding. And now we're talking about the big picture, because back of all of this, back of that infinite abundance that is demonstrated in all of those stars with innumerable objects and planets and forms in it, is the stuff from which it was created. Now, there have been arguments made that there is a divine intelligence. Sometimes we can question whether that divine intelligence is working in our lives, in our world, and that may raise possibilities, some of those opportunities that I spoke about earlier, challenges that we are available to address. But my belief is that there is an infinite intelligence, because the very existence of our lives, the very existence of our own biology is beyond the belief, for me, at any rate, in happenstance. Just the working and functioning of our bodies is so intricate and so evolved that for it to have happened without some form of intelligence would just be denying intelligence in and of itself. the way things circulate, the way we know that particles of energies work at a subatomic level, the way we look around and see plant life and everything else evolving in these structures. There is an innate intelligence. In this teaching, we call that creative mind. And that creative mind is the impetus that is sharing itself through absolutely everything to express itself. Now, here's the wonderful, beautiful thing about this. We are 100% of that divine intelligent stuff that is required. Each one of us, each one on this planet, and in fact, everyone who has ever been or will be, is required by that divine intelligence to be us right now. So how awesome is that? How awesome is it to realize that that creative power that created that Hubble deep field shot and everything in it, plus everything we don't even know about, required us to be here as consciousness right now to experience itself as us in all of this unique and wonderful ways that we are individuals, but also in the unique and wonderful ways we are human on our planet, in our societies, in our lives. And to have that opportunity as us to evolve back to the full understanding of its own being through us in each moment. How awesome is that? I mean, what that says is that we have the power right now to meet every challenge that faces us, whether that is individually, in our neighborhoods, in our society as a whole, as a planet, as the human race. We have all that we require to meet the challenge, because all of the power that created the infinite universe and all of the stuff in it is living in us in this moment. And the issue that we have is to be able to connect with it. Anybody have a still small voice? Usually it's going, don't do that. Mine's not that still often. It yells at me and says, are you nuts? What are you doing? Occasionally, that's my committee. Occasionally they vote me out of office and I manage to get back in. Occasionally I listen to that still small voice that says, be love. I know this doesn't seem like the right thing to do right now, but be love. I know this may feel like it's not the creative solution that you think you might need, but why don't you give it a try? Why don't you allow this newness to come forward and let go of what you've been holding on to so tightly that it's got claw marks on it? Because spirit will evolve, and you have a choice. You can let go of the past or be dragged. Being dragged is no fun. It often feels like you've been abraded with sandpaper over the entire length of your body. Because if we hold on to something old, something that no longer serves us, something that doesn't do the justice to that infinite creative intelligence being awesome as us, so that we can be that ideal, noble human expression of love that is available to us in each moment. Because that stuff is guided by a power that has the power to create anything. It's been creating galaxies and stars and probably other life forms, which I hope show up sometime and show us up a little bit to say this is the way to go. But in the meantime, we're good enough to do this. Those are the good things that come out of this power, this life that is ours. And how awesome is that? That we have the power to choose where we are going to focus the divine intelligence that is knowing itself as us today. We talk about this a great deal in New Thought. It begins in consciousness. when we want to experience love and equality and joy and prosperity and whatever else it is that we are desiring that is good for us and not harmful to anybody else, it is available to us when we get the consciousness that we already have it. That seems a little contradictory and maybe a little challenging. But when we build the consciousness that its availability is already present, it becomes part of our life. Has anybody ever worked on something and put their entire being into it to change something or to create something or to move to some new level of expression and actually had it achieved, right? You ever been there? If you've been there, then you know that once it is achieved, it becomes part of your consciousness. And you no longer struggle and work and change to be there. It's just the way it is. But what happened there was where we had an outward struggle to get there, we forgot that we set the intention in the first place to become that. This is why it begins in consciousness. When we set our consciousness to become what it is that we would like to be, the entirety and the full power of the universe, that awesomeness that is creating stars and galaxies, becomes active in our lives consciously. It's always active in our lives, but it becomes consciously active in our lives to move us into a position in which we don't need to be worrying about and struggling to get to where we want to be because we are there. So the opportunity is here. The opportunity for health and vitality, for love and harmony in our relationships, for abundance and prosperity for all. That not only the basics, but the good of life can express in its fullness for all is available right now. For the awareness of this and in each and every moment that we are the awesomeness of this infinite intelligence expressing through us and as us. And if we open to our awareness of that good in our lives, it becomes the truth of who we are now. We can let go of the hatred and the anger and the frustration and the hopelessness and the despair that has a tendency to build when we feel overwhelmed by the challenge, because maybe we can't meet this challenge individually, but we can meet it collectively, for we are the divine embodied as all of human beings. And collectively, we have the solution to whatever challenge is facing us in this moment to express a greater level of love, harmony, peace, joy, and abundance. So I invite you, as you go about your day, to take a break every moment, every now and then. Maybe not every moment. That's kind of an aspirational objective of my own. Take a break every now and then and take a breath and remember that you are the star stuff embodied as consciousness with all of the support of the divine intelligence that is creating this universe available. And all you got to do is ask. I know I will try. I hope you join me on that road. Namaste.
A brighter day will find you unafraid to try and take you far beyond yourself to peace of mind. You hold your breath, afraid to death of life, fill it up with love. Yeah. He doesn't know where he's going. Take him by the hand and pour him some love. There's no other way to tell him. Open up his eyes and show him some love. You'll never reach the sky until you feel the dirt. You'll never be invincible till you get hurt. We always understand ourselves too late. Fill us up with love. He doesn't know where he's going. Take him by the hand and pour him some love. There's no other way to tell him. Open up his eyes and show him some love. We all want to swim in the sun. We don't have much say when we're gone. We all want to swim in the sun. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Avi. It was beautiful. Thank you, Reverend Dave, for your inspirational message. So now is the time that we're going to spend some time with ourselves, the most important person in your life, which is you, in some meditation. So I invite everyone to get comfortable where you are. Sit as straight as possible. Perhaps have your feet on the floor and your hands in your lap. Close your eyes or allow them to go a soft focus and just relax. And be here now in this moment. Letting go of technology, letting go of thoughts of what's next, our to-do list, is to be in this moment now. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale fully and relax. Another deep breath in fully. Exhale and relax. Allow your attention to focus on your breath. In and out. giving and receiving in the flow of life. Just breathe. Breathe that life. Breathe in that awareness of the infinite spirit. It lives and moves and has its being as each of us. We are one with the stars. We are one with the infinite. As you focus on your breath, I invite you to take a mantra. And in your mind, imagine as you breathe in, I am. And as you exhale, alive. I am alive. I am alive. Take that mantra into the silence. I am alive.
And so I speak this word on behalf of each one on this call, knowing that there is an infinite power and intelligence, a divine source from which everything emerges, an allness of love that is permeating and saturating every part of its being with the fullness of life itself. That divine mind is wholly present right here and right now. And so I know that I am living, moving, and having my being as an expression of this divine intelligence, as a channel of an infinite allness of love, individualized in a unique and particular way. And as this is true of me, this is true of each one on this call, each one we encounter. and everyone everywhere is some aspect of this divine idea of life. Unique, whole, and complete. And so I know that the very essence of this spirit is love, and that love is present in and as and through all things. Its very essence is abundance, and that abundance is in and as and through all things. The very intelligence of the universe is sharing itself through and as everyone, and so is bringing about all of the creative ideas, all of the loving experiences, all of the expressions of harmony and peace that is the nature of its being, knowing the highest expression of itself as it moves through life, as it becomes conscious of itself in the individual form of everyone. All of those creative ideas are now present in the mind of spirit and are flowing forward effortlessly and easily. All of the good, that unformed substance, is ready and moving into form in reflection of the divine idea implanted in the individual mind. It is coming about to support itself fully in this and each moment. That's what's happening now. It is good and more good unfolding right now. So I give thanks to recognize that this is all the divine life. That the awesomeness of this life is recognized at the highest level of consciousness and is bringing more joy into the world, more love into the world, more good into the world now, through us and as us. And so knowing that this statement of truth is whole and complete, I give thanks to speak this word of good and know that it is so. I allow it and accept it. And I release it to the activity of law that has all of the intelligence and all of the power to make it so now. For that's what it's doing. It's coming about. It's bringing all of itself to bear upon bringing this good into form in this moment. And I know it is so. And so it is. And so I invite you to take a breath. Bring yourself more fully into your present location. Bring all that good back with you. And know that it's taking form now. As we listen to another song.
From a distance, the world looks blue and green, and the snow-capped mountains white. From a distance, the ocean meets the stream, and the eagle takes to flight. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. It's the voice of hope, it's the voice of peace, it's the voice of every man. From a distance, we all have enough, and no one is in need. There are no guns, no bombs, and no disease, no hungry mouths to feed. From a distance, we are instruments marching in a common band, playing songs of hope, playing songs of Someone is watching us. Someone is watching us. Someone is watching us from a distance. From a distance, you look like my friend, even though we are at war. From a distance, I cannot comprehend what all this fighting is for. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. It's the hope of hopes. It's the love of loves. It is the heart of every man. Someone is watching us. Someone is watching us. Someone is watching us from a distance. Someone is watching us. Someone is watching us. Someone is watching us from a distance.
Thank you, Avi. That was absolutely beautiful. So we like to spend a little time just sharing with the community to see if anything has come up that you'd like to share with the rest of us, because collectively as a community, we are exponentially more powerful than we are individually. Not that that isn't powerful enough, but this is your time. So if anybody has anything to share, just raise your hand and you can unmute yourself. Oh, Jesus.
Well, I want to excuse myself because I'm in Chicago. It's an hour earlier. So when I tune in, I saw Green meditating and leading a meditation. I said, well, they're taking me to the meditating room. So, and then I figured, wait a minute, I put two and two together. It's an hour over here. It's 10:40 now. So I wanna, but regardless of anything, it's wonderful. I guess it's the intention that counts. I didn't hear the message, but I think I did heard it. It's already in my spirit. And just with that song that I just heard, I heard the message, you know, from a distance. Somebody's watching me, somebody's taking care of me. And that was just wonderful. I just want to excuse myself for my ignorance a little bit there, but the intention is what it counts. Thank you, Rev. Thank you.
We love you, Jesus. Anyone else? Lana.
Yeah, I keep getting this image or like thought recently about kind of like the Earth's core and all the things that are below us, and how do we even know that, and like how amazing is that? All those like different layers and different substances, and it was cool today that the talk kind of extended above and below that. And I think like maybe in the meditation, I was thinking that, and then all the way on the other side of the earth too, not just to the middle of it. So I don't know, it's cool to think about those things and like the vastness of everything that we're part of.
Beautiful. Thank you. Jane.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I was listening to I listen to NPR on the radio a lot when I'm in the car now. And the other day there was a poet, Marilyn Nelson was her name. She's fantastic. And she shared this part of a poem that she wrote about dust. And the takeaway was that the dust and the air and the dust and things that are like might be on your desk right now could have been blown from halfway across the world through storms and winds. And it's like, there's really no new air. It's been circulating forever. The same air that we're breathing now, people were breathing, millions of years ago. And that really made me think about how we are so much a part of everything. When you think about just the idea of dust alone and how it can collect, and it has come from so many places and we just take it for granted. Like, when we just wipe this up and get rid of it, but really it's from everywhere. I thought that was kind of neat.
Amen. Thank you. It's all one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Believe we, Sandy?
Yes. New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gift you share helps. Oops. Wait, we just blocked out the rest of the words there. Well, I'm going to make it up. The gifts you share are what keeps us going and keeps this beautiful inspiration happening. So please join me in reading this offering affirmation. I live in an abundant universe. I am one with the infinite source of all good. I am a center of conscious prosperity.
I enjoy the richness of life. I bless my gift. I share my gift with gratitude and joy. I know that as I give,
I do receive.
And please remember that we take donations by credit card or PayPal on the website.
All right, so normally I would invite you to sing along with me for this closing song. It's a song that I wrote, but since we are on Zoom and that can get a little difficult, I invite you to keep yourself muted and then sing along with me. So definitely sing along. This is a very sing-alongable song. It's a song about brighter days ahead. It's called Passover. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass and there will be sun, sun, sun. A storm's about to appear and not a thing will be dry. But the skies, they always clear. It's just a matter of time. Here we go. So this dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass and there will be sun, sun, sun. We're stuck with nowhere to go. It's quite a disheartening thing. But instead of getting low, let's get together and sing. Let's sing. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass and there will be sun, sun, sun. Say soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass, and there will be sun, sun, sun. I see you're feeling blue. Life's not how you want it to be. So until the sun shines through, you can sing along with me. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass, and there will be sun, sun, sun. Sing it with me. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass, and there will be sun, sun, sun. One more. Said this dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass, and there will be sun, 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 sun. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Avi. That was wonderful. So we just take a moment to acknowledge and bless the gifts that have come in through the website and through any other avenue, knowing that this is the infinite abundance flowing through New Thought Philadelphia to touch ever more people. So I invite you, as we close, to reach out to the mind of the person next to you, knowing that you're already connected in the one, and say after me, I am the love.
I am the love.
I am the light.
I am the
I
light.
am the light.
I share my love,
I share my
share
love.
my
Share my love.
and I shine my light.
And I
Every
And I
day.
shine my light.
Yay.
Yay.
That's it. Join us for your coffee, bagels, and conversation back here if you'd like to. We'll be leaving this on for a little while. And see, I finally did it. I pulled the plug on my microphone. But thank you all. Delighted. Thank you, Avi. Thank you, all the tech people. Thank you, Breen and Sandy and Carla and Jennifer, for reading. You guys are great. Love it. And I'll be quiet now because I've been talking for a while.
Thank you for letting me see the beauty and